This video is for baseball fans only. So if you're not a baseball fan, then don't watch or listen to this video. I'm sure you guys know who Angel Hernandez is. Yes. Angel Hernandez will probably be remembered as maybe the most hated MLB umpire of all time. So, I'm making this video because I found this article from Microsoft Start that talks about Angel Hernandez. Now, before I start reading this and taking a look and talking about it, I started watching MLB games in 2013, so about 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years ago, I started kind of getting into it and stuff. First All-Star game, first World Series. But over the years, I started to know who Angel Hernandez really is. You know, I saw a little compilation video of his blown calls, his terrible mistakes, calls that he made. And his when he's ejecting players and managers. It's kind of funny. It's kind of entertaining. So, and at one time I saw a comment that he's the clown umpire. He looks like a clown, and by looking at him, he kind of does look like a clown, the clown umpire. So, but anyway, Angel Hernandez has been an umpire in the major leagues for quite a long time, actually. I read on Wikipedia, his on what he's like and stuff. I do that with a lot of, well-known people. He's from Cuba, okay? And the last time I saw him, because this year I didn't really watch much games. I kind of just watch highlights on the Canadian Sports Center and stuff. But I think Angel Hernandez was at the World Baseball Classic that just happened a couple of months ago. So, and I believe he was in Miami, Florida for Group D. So, anyway, but here's the weird thing about Angel Hernandez. He only worked one World Series. Yeah. Out of all those years, 30-something years, he only did one World Series. And yeah, there's a reason why he only did one World Series. And he has never been a crew chief. There's a lot of umpire crews. It's a four-man crew, and one of those four-man is a crew chief. The crew chief is someone who is the most experienced and the one that knows the most of the rule book and stuff. But yeah, Angel has never been a crew chief. He's actually been like an interim crew chief, like in spring training games and stuff, but not like an actual one during the regular season. So let's see what this says here. It's titled, "One of MLB's worst umpires may have quietly worked his last game, and fans are ecstatic." That means they're happy. Yeah. Angel is like one of the most hated umpires of all time. He's made a lot of blown calls over the years, man. His strike zone is terrible. Remember that one Sunday night game? It was either last year or the year before. It was in Philly. And man, he was just awful behind home plate. He was the home plate umpire. I saw that video of of his blown calls, man. Like some of them, they're just way off. Like if a ball is way outside, he calls it a strike. If a ball is too low, he calls it a strike. It's like what? A lot of people had many problems with this clown. Um, but I'm not a hater. I don't hate any umpire. Yeah, I know Angel Hernandez has made a lot of terrible calls and stuff, but what's kind of funny and entertaining is when the manager starts yelling at him and stuff. That's what's funny to me. But anyway, let's get into the article here. I'm not going to read all this. I'll probably just skim through it. As a general rule, you want to avoid becoming a household name if you officiate a sport for a living, as 99% of who managed to do that tend to achieve that particular distinction for all the wrong reasons. Let's see here. There's a convincing argument that Laz Diaz is statistically the worst ump in MLB. Oh, this takes me to a link. However, he has plenty of colleagues that give him a run for his money, including CB Buckner, Doug Eddings, and of course, Angel Hernandez. And I know all those guys. um, I didn't know Laz Diaz was that bad. Because Laz just became a crew chief from last year. So I didn't thought he was that bad. The last man on that list, which is Angel Hernandez, has been infuriating fans, players, and managers alike since making his MLB debut all the way back in 1991, thanks to his abysmal ability to consistently call balls and strikes and plenty of other borderline inexplicable rulings, with the ability to make millions of people wonder, how does Angel Hernandez still have a job? It's a good question. The MLB has quietly acknowledged his skills leave plenty to be desired when you consider it hasn't allowed him to work in the World Series since 2005, and essentially responded to a discrimination lawsuit he filed by saying it has nothing to do with your ethnic background and everything to do with your performance, while whipping out some receipts to support its case. Hernandez kicked off his 33rd season as an umpire at the MLB level when he worked first base during a game between the Giants and the White Sox on April 3rd. Okay. Okay, this is from Twitter. However, that also marked the only time he's worked so far this season, as he was quietly replaced 2 days after that contest and has not returned to the diamond. Wow. So he was the first base umpire in that one game he did back in April 3rd, I think. And he got replaced after that. So did he had another terrible day? That's weird. And he hasn't returned since. So is this the end? Is this the end of Angel Hernandez? Let's keep reading. As things currently stand, it's unclear if Hernandez unexpectedly retired, was shown the door by the league, or if there's some other explanation for an absence that has stretched than more 40 days. Or I should say more than 40 days. So it's not official if he's retired or not, but there's a reason why he was absent for over a month. What is clear, however, is that baseball fans aren't exactly heartbroken by the development. Huh. Look at these tweets. The lack of any official announcement means the door could be open for his return, but it's clear plenty of baseball fans would prefer if to see it hit Hernandez on his way out. Okay, well that's the end of that article. I'm not sure why. Well, it says he got replaced and he never returned ever since April 3rd. I don't know. He might come back. I don't know when or if he will come back. There's a reason why he only did one World Series. He filed a lawsuit. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Laz Diaz. Okay, I clicked on this and it took me to this one. Who is the worst umpire in the MLB? The stats suggest it isn't actually Angel Hernandez. This is from this year. I'd argue you can't really call yourself a sports fan unless you've resisted the urge to throw an inanimate object at the wall after an official made with an awful call that went against your team. Yeah. Okay. Don't do that. Let's see here. Most MLB fans are likely too familiar with the likes of Angel Hernandez, Laz Diaz, and C.B. Buckner, who are just a handful of umps who've made a name for themselves for all the wrong reasons and shining examples of why the league is seriously considering making the switch to robot umpires. Oh, this is like another link. Yeah. I'm sure you baseball fans know that they're probably going to do those robot umpires in the future. It's probably going to happen. I mean, just like we all knew the pitch clock would happen, so. However, which umpire deserves to be called the worst of the worst? I have a feeling most people would put Hernandez at the top of their list, but if you take a closer look at the numbers, there's another person who emerges as the clear front runner. Why Laz Diaz is arguably the worst umpire in the MLB? Really? I didn't know he was that bad. I mean, I've seen some blown calls he made, but I thought Angel Hernandez did a lot more blown calls. And Laz Diaz is a crew chief now. Let's see here. The most straightforward approach is overall accuracy. Over the course of the 2022 season, Buckner, C.V. Buckner, finished in the basement by getting 92% of balls and strikes correct, which is slightly worse than the 92.1% and 92.3% Malachi, Moore, and Laz Diaz, respectively, posted. Okay. The 356 blown calls Ted Barrett, who is another umpire. Actually, I think, yeah, he retired at the end of last year. He's, in my opinion, one of the best umpires of all time. He boasted over the course of the 31 games he umped that year was more than any of his colleagues. Although Diaz, 352 in 30 games, and Buckner, 351 in 30 games, were right on his heels. Okay. However, a single season doesn't really do much to tell the entire story, as the plot becomes much more clearer when you take a look at how MLB umpires have fared over an extended period of time. If we take the past 5 seasons into consideration, a clear favorite quickly emerges. If you remove the umpires who've retired from the equation, Diaz is tied with Ed Hickox for the worst accuracy over a 5-year span. Barrett still has the most blown calls with 1,745, but Diaz is the runner-up. Thanks to the 1,640 he racked up in 7 fewer games. Wow, who the hell wrote this article? How does this person know all this information? I'm curious to know. Well, what do you guys think? Most people are still going to say Angel Hernandez is the worst. Um, but I've seen some comments about Laz Diaz that he's made some bad calls as well. Um, Now, where's the article about robot umpires? I know it's on here somewhere. Was it on the other one? It might be on the other one. I wonder how the robot umpires would work. Was it on here? Yeah, here it is. Alright. Oh, disable your ad blocker. Alright. Fans have mixed reactions to MLB implementing robot umpires at all AAA parks. That's a lower level of baseball underneath the major leagues. In news that is sure to result all of Jimmy's of baseball pursuits, or no, purists, Major League Baseball will be using robot umpires at all 30 class AAA parks in 2023. That means if all goes well, Major League Baseball could be just 1 year away from using the electronic strike zone. Yeah, that's probably most likely. I can see it happening next year if AAA baseball is doing it this year. It's the same thing with the pitch clock that they used from last year. Now Major League Baseball is... Oh my god, shut the hell up, ad. Just like MLB's doing it this year. What the heck is this? A 1 hour and 23-minute video of nonsense? I don't want that. Don't you hate when sites have a bunch of crap all over the place? Ads and stuff. Basically, the robot umpires is where they'll get every call correct. How do I feel about it? I don't like that idea. I like the human calling it. Yes, I know it's hard for the human to get every call correct. It's tough. The ball goes so fast. I get it, but it's more fun, more entertaining if it's the human umpire. It is. Having robot umpires, it kind of takes the excitement away. You know, like why is MLB doing all these changes now after all these years? It doesn't make sense. I might have to make another video on all the things that I don't like what the MLB is doing. I'll save that for another video. Anyway, back to the article here. Each team will be allowed 3 challenges per game, with teams retaining challenges in cases when they are proved correct. MLB's intention is to use the data and feedback from both systems over the full slate of games to inform future choices. As of now, MLB has no firm date to implement its automatic balls and strike system in their big leagues. Many fans welcome our baseball robots overloads after last season was littered with terrible call. 4 strikes in an at-bat after terrible call, a walk on ball 3 by the human versions. Never heard of such a thing like that. Someone tweeted out, "Bye bye, Angel Hernandez." This past season, Major League Baseball implemented several new rules, including the universal designated hitter, to much similar whining from all the purists. The 2023 MLB season will be the introduction of the pitch clock, limits on the shift, larger bases, and the restriction on the number of time a pitcher can attempt pickoff throws. I just see, why are they doing all this? Why are they making all these changes in this year? You know, like, why can't it be like little by little? They decided, oh, yep, we're gonna have like 10 changes next year. I don't get that. That's the main reason why I don't want to watch a lot of games this year. I just don't want to. It's the same thing. I did that last year and the year before. I just didn't want to watch much games. Sadly, the pandemic induced rule that extra inning begins with a runner on second. Yeah, that's the worst rule of all. Yeah. Is that the end? Okay. Well, guys, what do you guys think about number 1, Angel Hernandez possibly retiring? Laz Diaz might be the worst umpire of all time, according to that article, which I don't know how they got all that information. And lastly, having robot umpires next year. Most likely next year, if AAA baseball is doing it this year. And if it works out, you know MLB is going to do it next year. So, anyway. So, I'm going to make another video telling you my thoughts on the new rules and what I like and what I don't like. I kind of did that with I did a live stream of me talking about the World Baseball Classic tournament. And then I also mentioned the new rules for MLB, but I'm probably going to dive more deep into details about that. So, anyway, I did a few reaction videos of this one person, this YouTuber called Depressed Ginger, I think. Him talking about the ranking the MLB score bugs and stuff like that. Oh, the weird stadium features that got removed. I'll put them on the end screen right now. There they are. If you want to check those out, you can. And yeah, guys, I'll talk to you guys next time. Once in a while, I'll do like a sports talk because it's cool. And yeah, thank you for watching. and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out.